Hello children, today we will revise the chapter Discovering Tut. The saga continues with special emphasis on the type of questions you might face and how to answer them. Let's quickly revise the chapter. As you remember, Tut's mummy was scanned by a CT scan in 2005 in a joint operation by the Egyptian government and the National Geographic. The CT scan machine was in fact donated by the National Geographic channel, and there is also a mention of the Pharaoh's curse that was evident that day when the mummy was taken out for CT scan. The weather was very bad, it was inclement, the stars were covered with the haze, there were clouds, and a guard even referred to the Pharaoh's curse. That was that if somebody disturbs the sleeping Pharaoh, he will face trouble. Similarly, we are given an account of how the mummy was first discovered by Howard Carter in 1922, and we are also given the account how it was encased in 3 successive coffins, one inside the other, and the mummy was glued to the last coffin. How there was a lot of gold, jewelry, artifacts in the tomb and everyday things. There were garlands and wreaths of spring flowers that showed that the Pharaoh had probably died in spring. Also, there was an X-ray in 1968 that we are told about, and it also revealed shocking things like the breastbone and the front rib of the king was missing. So there were lots of stories and conjecture about why the king was killed, why the king died so early. Probably he was killed by someone or he had diseases, and at that point of time, by 1968, things were not clear. Now, then we are told about how Tut only ruled for 9 years. He was only 17 years. He succeeded his father, who had destroyed the reigning god Amun's temples and had established sun god the Aten as the reigning deity. But Tut, when he went to the throne, he ascended the throne, he restored the Amun god, the god Amun, as the reigning deity, and he went on and worked very hard to resolve the conflicts that were reigning at that time in Egypt. Also, we are told about the mummy project, which started in 2003, and wherefore 600 mummies were analyzed technically with advanced technical equipment like the CT scan, and Tut's mummy was the first mummy on 5th January 2005 that was scanned. Now we are told about the incidents that happened on that day and how the scan was a very worrisome thing, because Tut is he is almost an iconic symbol of the Egyptian culture. And how Zahi Hawass, the Secretary General of Egypt's Council of Antiquities, was finally relieved when everything went on smoothly, though there were minor hassles, like it was very difficult, it was a precarious method to carry the body extracted, the mummy, and extract it from the tomb and carry it to the CT scan machine. Also, there were clouds, the weather was inclement, and the machine was also jammed for some time. But then everything went on smoothly and the mummy was restored back to its resting place, the tomb, and everybody heaved a sigh of relief. Also, it was noticed that the constellation Osiris, which is considered as a god of afterlife in Egypt, was shining at that point of time. Now let's attempt the question answers. What kind of questions you might face from this chapter. Again, short answer questions and long answer questions. Here I have taken one question which can be explained in a short way, and also you can expound it in a long answer question. Let's do that first. The statement was, please explain the statement that King Tut is one of the first mummies to be scanned. In death and in life, he moved regally ahead of his countrymen. Now, how do you explain this answer? If it is a short answer, you refer shortly to his death, how he was a famous king, he restored the earlier Egyptian culture and the reigning deity. Also, how he died mysteriously and there was always a curiosity around his death, and then how his was the first mummy to be taken out and scanned. That is how you finish the answer. But if it is a long answer, you can talk about his dynasty, his rule, how he was he had probably faced disease or death or murder, because he was not a very popular king because of the previous reign's atrocities, and how he restored the god, the reigning deity. These were all political and social upheavals. And then you can mention how his mummy was discovered in 1922, and it was one of the first mummies to be discovered in such an ample scale, and how now the CT scan has also revealed many things. So you can elongate the answer, refer to more incidents and make it more interesting. Now another short answer question that you have is, why did the guard remark curse of the Pharaoh? Now you can refer to the myth that there was a curse, there was an inscription on the tomb of the king that whoever will disturb the Pharaoh will face consequences. So do not disturb the little king in his sleep. You can refer to this, you can mention this, and then you can say how when the mummy was taken out of the tomb, there was inclement weather, it was bad weather, it was clouded, the sky was clouded over, there was dusk, and the stars were all covered in a haze. So it was an ominous kind of atmosphere. So you can all describe it here and conclude your answer. Then there might be another long answer question, that is about the advanced technology which gives us evidence of the past events. Do you think that? Yes, you should answer it in positive. Mention how in 1922 Howard Carter faced a lot of problems because there was no archaeological technology that could help him. But then there was an X-ray done, and then many things were revealed, like his bones were missing and probably he had an accident. And then there was a CT scan which we are mentioning in the story, and how we discovered many more new things from there. And then you can also refer to the later on discoveries, later on technology that was used, that was the more CT scans and DNA analysis, which revealed that he probably had some genetic defect and he died of that genetic defect, or a disease, an infection in his ankle. That is why there were walking sticks, probably he already had walking disabilities.